And we are live. Hello, welcome to the first ever GEUS Power Plant Football Special. Coming to you not live, but recorded from the GEUS Power Plant here in Greenville, Texas. I am your host, Josh Valsich, with my co-hosts Steve Shaw and Terry Couton. And today we're going to be talking about NFC East predictions, picks, and just player profiles and ranking positional groups. So first off, we'll start out with our NFC East picks. Steve Shaw, currently you have the Cowboys going at 11-6. What are some things you want to see from them this year from Dak Prescott, your main man Ezekiel Elliott, and company?
I think Dallas run game's going to be a lot better this year. With Zeke coming back, he's going to be pumped up. He's a better running back than Tony Pollard. They should have never got rid of him. It's a dumb move by Jerry Jones or whoever made the decision. But I think Dallas's run game with their offensive line is going to help Dak and maybe get us over our playoff struggles.
But 11-6, don't you think that's a little low if your predictions come true?
We got some tough teams to play this year. We got the 49ers. Philly's not going to be a lay-down team. And, Washington Giants could sneak up on us. I doubt it, but could happen. But we're going to lose a game or two to some unworthy teams because that's the way we play.
All right, Terry Couton, you have Cowboys coming in at 14-3.
America's team, baby.
America's team, baby.
I look forward to seeing the receiving group.
Okay.
I think they're going to be a stud group this year with C.D. Lamb coming back from an awesome year last year. Their offensive line is the question for me.
Okay.
How's Tyler Guyton going to play?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like a house in practice. He up against Michael Parsons every day in training camp. So I think that's going to give him.
Is he holding his own?
Yeah, holding his own.
All
I think that's going to help him. BB from Kansas State, he's coming in strong.
Don BB?
Not Don BB. But he's looks like he's going to be our starting center.
Okay.
So I think we're going to see some good things out of him. Hopefully Zeke returns back to form of his rookie season. No, it's nice to have Zeke back. Short yardage, his blocking abilities, just unstoppable. That helps Dak more than anybody in the world.
That's true.
Anyway, I look forward to a good season.
I don't know. I think now that Balderdash is gone, Steve Shaw might not be too candid on this new center of yours.
Is that Cooper BB? Is that his name?
I currently have the Cowboys.
I don't know his first name. It's BB.
It's Cooper.
Is it Cooper?
If he's named Cooper, that means he's going to win 5 games at least.
At least, just like
In a
Cooper
row.
Rush.
Yeah.
I currently got the Cowboys coming in at 13-4. I think the Cowboys' key to victory is going to be obviously Dak Prescott and the offensive line. Dallas receiver group is going to be good. C.D. Lamb's top 3 receiver any given day within the NFL. Run game is questionable, but Dallas doesn't really rely on the run game against bad teams. Usually the good teams like 49ers, and then what was another tough team you guys had this year?
Ravens or
the
Lions
Ravens
or
or Lions. That's where it's really going to come down to it. Dak will need help. But yeah, it's just mainly Dallas needs to get out of its own way this season, in my opinion. Moving on to the NFC East darling, the New York Football Giants. Steve Shaw, currently you have the New York Giants finishing the season at 8-9. What are some things you would alarm called me. What are some things you would like to see from the New York Giants this season?
I'd like to see them lose every game. I don't know. I think if they could protect Daniel Jones, I think he'll have a good season. I don't know too much about their younger wide receivers, how they're going to produce. Some come in doing good, but I always have to give a kid at least a year.
At least a year.
At least a year to see what he does, but the New York Giants' main receiver, he's a pretty good guy. Can't remember his name. Slade.
Darius Slayton,
excuse me. But anyway, their defense might be a little bit better. I think they're going to have a good pass rush this year. If they stay healthy, I don't think they have any depth. And if they lose a few key linemen on both sides of the ball, I think they will struggle.
Okay. Barry Coutant, I believe you had the New York Football Giants finishing at. Sorry, Mom called me mid recording. You had the New York Giants coming in at 9-8. What are some things you need to see from New York this year?
Well, I think the G-men, their season is going to be wrapped around Daniel Jones.
As is tradition.
It depends on his protection. If y'all second-year player Dean, he needs to keep improving on what he was building on last year. And they need some help. Hopefully they've got some out of free agency draft. I don't know. Don't know a whole lot about their offensive line except they've sucked. They gave up 85 sacks last season.
Somebody looked at it.
Second most in NFL history.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Their receiving core, I like what they're doing there. They got a lot of young guys, a lot of speed. I think Neighbors is going to be outstanding.
Steve Shaw, looks like you have something to say on that subject.
He's not proven. I just don't know. I don't think he's that great of a receiver.
He's going to be a good receiver. Give him the reps.
We'll find out.
We will find
I think he'll
I
be
don't know a
gone
lot
from New York
about
for 2 years.
y'all's running game. Singletary,
Devin Singletary
I'm
spent
not real
his
familiar with.
first 3 years at the Bills. He spent his last season at Houston. He's just a bell cow. He's Ezekiel Elliott without the moves.
Yeah.
He's just north-south, going to get you
Straight ahead.
3 to 4
That's
yards
it.
in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, well, that may be what they need right now.
I think that is what they need.
Defensively, their front is as good as anybody in the NFC East. They got good down linemen. They've got good edge rushers. They have an excellent group of linebackers. Secondary might be a question. You're still young in the secondary.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to show some improvement in what y'all done over the last 2 years because there's teams that Philadelphia and Dallas has two of the best receiving corps in the NFL.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see. I still think they're a mediocre team, but going the right direction.
Oh, all right. Shots fired. All right. Currently, I unfortunately have the Giants going 11-6 this season. When we were doing these predictions, I did not understand exactly how much bias I had. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. I think I am in for a letdown this season. Realistically speaking, I was hoping for an 8-9, 9-8 season, but when we wrote it all down on the board, I came in at 11-6. So heartbreak is on the horizon for me. The big thing for me this year is, like Shaw and Terry both mentioned, the offensive line. If the offensive line does not improve, Daniel Jones is going to get sacked probably 120 times and then set the record this year, if he makes it to the end of the year. And then, but we did pick up some people on free agency. We got Elmanure, right tackle from the Raiders, and we also got Greg Van Rotten, who's a veteran guard from the Raiders as well. Both of them played on the right side of the line for the Raiders. They'll be playing on the right side of the line for the Giants this year. John Michael Schmitz, our rookie center last year, is going to need to improve. He had an okay season, but when the wheels started falling off, he did struggle a lot. And then left guard, we got John Runyon from the Green Bay Packers, John Runyon Jr. from the Green Bay Packers, and then we got all-pro left tackle Andrew Thomas, but he has had issues with injuries. So, moving on. What are y'all's predictions for the NFC East final record? Who's going to be in first? Who's going to be in second, third, fourth? Will the Cowboys get to hang their 19th division championship banner?
I think Philly's going to come in hot this year. I think they're going to be hard to beat. I think it'll come down to them and Dallas. And we know how Dallas likes to fall on their ass.
Dallas does great in the regular season.
They fall on their ass last 2 games when it means something. So if it comes down to them and Philly battling it out, I don't know. Dallas, I think, is still a playoff team, but I think Philly takes the division.
He's just not true blue. He's not a Cowboy.
This says otherwise. This Josh Valsich might be wearing his hat again this year. We make some kind of crazy bet.
After last year, I will not be making any bets.
No team has repeated division titles since 2005 in the NFC East.
And Dallas is going to do it this year.
Philadelphia and Dallas has both won. Well, Dallas has won 7 division titles. Philly 6 since 2005.
How many of the Giants won?
Giants said 1, Redskins 3.
Redskins won?
Yeah.
Dallas is going to repeat. They're going to be the division champs this year.
You heard it here first, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
heard it here, right here.
From the
Steve
true
Jobs.
blue Dallas Cowboy fan.
I think Dak is going to be Dak during the regular season. He's going to play. He's going to throw. He's going to win. They're going to pile up a lot of yardage. They've got a defense, a secondary that can play with anybody in the league. They got good edge rushers. They're iffy up the middle, but they've gotten some help here recently that hopefully shores up the middle of their defensive line. We'll see. But anyway, I expect to see a good season. Zimmer, he's going to bring a lot to the defense. He's not a real attacking goofball like Quinn. He does more things in disguise and tries to confuse the offense. Makes them try to make calls at the line of scrimmage instead of coming out and running the play. I expect to see good things. Hopefully we can take the next step in the playoffs.
We'll see.
We'll see.
My current predictions for the NFC East are going to be the New York Giants win. I think ultimately it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys winning it. I have high hopes for a Philadelphia collapse. I hope I never have to see Nick Sirianni's stupid face ever again after this season. I think Philadelphia will be good out the gate, but I don't think Nick Sirianni's the type of coach that can keep the team going if there's any adversity. If you look at what they did last year in the last end of the half of the season, December, I think they lost every single game, one of the games including New York Giants. They probably would have lost most of their games in November too had it not been for the fact that Tommy DeVito started instead of what's his name?
Damn.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod.
I think Giants would have won that game too and we would have swept the Eagles. But my prediction is Dallas first. I don't want to bank on the fact that Philly's going to collapse.
Giants.
I don't want to bank on the fact that Philly's going to collapse, so we'll be realistic. I'll say Dallas first, Philly second, Giants third, Redskins fourth. Steve Shaw, what did you have to say?
Is that why you wore the Dallas blue New York shirt?
This is my Logan Ryan jersey.
Who's Logan Ryan?
Logan Ryan is the guy that made the tackle on Dak Prescott when he broke his ankle.
Oh, well, how many jerseys do you have? So that guy broke somebody's leg, he's your hero?
No, he broke Dak Prescott's leg.
Yeah, so he's your hero.
He's not my hero. I had the jersey before that.
So Lawrence Taylor is your real hero because he really broke somebody's leg.
My favorite New York Giant of all time, I didn't wear the jersey today because I couldn't find it, is Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is my favorite New York Giant of all time.
I would have never thought that. Okay.
Sterling Shepard.
It's my favorite one. All right, moving on.
All right.
We're going to go to Steve Shaw first. Steve Shaw, who do you believe will lead the Dallas Cowboys in interceptions this year?
I think Bland will still lead us in interceptions. I think he's got more confidence, and they put a lot on him last year when Diggs went out. Diggs is going to help, but I think they'll target Bland more than they will Diggs, so he'll have more opportunities.
You know, Diggs is still coming back from that injury.
He's just fine.
You think he'll be 100%?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Frank Gore come back for 14 injuries, and he still rushed for over 12,000 yards.
Frank Gore was made in the lab.
Well, whatever. But I think Diggs will be just fine. He probably could have come back last year.
It's high hopes, high praise.
From Steve Austin. Just know who Steve Austin is.
Terry Couton, who do you believe will lead the Dallas Cowboys in interceptions this year?
That's a good question. You have 2 ball hawks on the outside, but you got a guy that's going to see a lot of targets on the inside named Jordan Lewis.
Jordan Lewis.
He's also a ball hawk. I don't think he'll lead the team on interceptions. I think he'll have his share. I'm going to go with Bland. I mean, I love Diggs, the way he plays. He likes to try to bait the quarterback, but that gets him burned a lot, too.
Yeah.
Bland's just all over you. He tries to wear you like a coat, so I'll go with Bland.
I think this year it'll be Bland, mainly because I think it's going to take at least 4 weeks before Diggs is 100% back to being the number one guy in the Dallas Cowboys secondary. No matter what Steve Shaw would like to believe, ACL injuries take a long time to recover from.
I tore my meniscus. I'm still working.
Barely, if you call it that.
So, just saying.
I think teams are gonna. I think teams.
meniscus, folks.
I think teams at the start of the year are going to target Diggs just to test and see how back he is. I think they're going to have to use Jordan Lewis and your other safety. I think you'll see the Dallas Cowboys safety shading on Diggs' side at the start of the season until they know for sure he's 100% back. So I'm going to go with Deron Bland will lead the league not the league, but the Dallas Cowboys this year in interceptions.
We're all in agreement.
We're all in agreement. As for the New York Giants, I'll start off on this one. Y'all might not know too much about the Giants. We got our second year number one corner, whose name I can't remember right now because I'm on camera, Devontae Banks. I think he'll still get a lot of targets. I think teams will still be testing him. But I think our leading interception guy this year will be our rookie, Tyler Nubin, out of the University of Minnesota. Tyler Nubin isn't the most athletic safety in the league, but what Tyler Nubin is a student of the game. Tyler Nubin knows how to study opposing offenses. He looks for the keys from quarterbacks, and that helps him make his predictions and break on the ball. And
he plays free safety.
Yeah, he'll be playing strong safety for us. Okay. We have Jason Pinnock at free safety.
He plays center field more or less.
He plays center field more or less. But I think just his intellect and intuition, I think, will help him have a great rookie season and lead the Giants in interceptions. Steve Shaw.
I don't know much about the Giants' defense other than they give up a lot of yards last year, but I think Giants, if their offense does well, they'll be okay. Their defense, if they get pressure on the quarterback, I think it'll help the younger defenders.
Well, we're talking interceptions.
Well, I just
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau's I would have more. He might be back in coverage. I don't remember what kind of defense y'all run there.
He'll be playing. Burns will be the main DN. Thibodeau will be playing D tackle because it's whatever type of defense.
I think y'all get a few, but I don't think you're gonna be something like what Dallas done the last couple of years.
I don't. Nobody thinks that.
Well, no, and I don't know if that's luck or just skill or just the way the ball
You can't count on
bounced.
interceptions every year.
No,
Sometimes
you
they're there,
can't,
sometimes
but,
they're not.
I think the Giants will. I think they'll get some interceptions, but I can't tell you who's going to get the most.
I think that crash test helmet hasn't worked out for you.
No, it's not helping. I can go back to my buddy Murmur back here and ask him a few questions, but he's like me. He's looking at the ceiling because he has nothing to say.
Terry Couton.
I'm kind of weak on knowledge about the Giants secondary. I know y'all have Darius Slay. I think he's a second-year player.
No, he's still with Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Slay.
Yeah.
Oh, Slay's not a receiver?
No,
we
have Devontae.
Devontae Banks.
Yeah, and then we'll have Tyler Nubin, strong safety, Jason Pinnock, free safety, and then our other corner is up in the air right now. They were trying to wheel out Cordell Flott, who was a rookie last year, but he is not. Or no, I'm sorry, this will be his third year. But the Giants keep giving him opportunities, but he ain't getting it. So it's looking like it'll be. I can't remember the other guy's name, honestly, right now. I'm on camera, so my mind is blank.
Yeah.
But he is good. He's one of those guys that they are able to move around between strong safety, corner, slot, and he's able to produce. So I think it'll be Tyler Nubin, though.
I'll have to go with your thought over
All right, Tyler Nubin from Terry Couton. All right, now we'll shift into ranking positional groups, starting off with the quarterback, Steve Shaw, between Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, who's the Commanders' new guy?
That'll be
from LSU, Jaden Daniels, and Daniel Jones.
Jaden Daniels don't have his wide receiver anymore.
Did Terry McLaurin get injured?
No, McLaurin's still healthy.
Yeah, he's
Terry McLaurin's their receiver.
I'm just
you're good. Okay.
Because they can't just throw the ball up. Anyway, getting back, Dak's the best quarterback in the NFC East by far.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, he's got several skills, but I don't think his passing game's very, very good. just it ain't gonna be there. Daniel Jones is a better passer than Jalen Hurts by far, but Dak is number one.
Now give me number 2.
I would say if he stays healthy, Daniel Jones could be number 2.
Okay.
I hate it, but anyway, and then I'd go with Jalen, and then the young
Jaden
rookie,
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels
All right.
from LSU.
So you got Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, then Washington.
It's just cause Giants got blue in New Jersey, but
Very good time.
No doubt Prescott's the best quarterback in the NFC East. He's, 3 years in a row, 12-3?
well,
12-5, sorry.
well, I don't know. Did he play every game?
Who, Dak?
He missed
In the
5
last
in a
3
row.
years, he missed a few games.
Missed 5 or 6 in a row.
3 years ago, he missed a few games.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush for some of that, but
A
still.
hero.
Prescott still hands down the best quarterback. I'll go with Jalen Hurts second. He's a good player. He's also a head case, but he does have a better playoff record than Dak.
Oh yeah.
Third, I'm going to have to go with Daniel Jones. He's a good quarterback, tough player. He just needs a lot of help up front. Daniels, a rookie. What else can you say? He can throw the ball.
Yeah.
And he can run the ball too. I mean, he's got good legs.
He
so.
thinks he's Eric Dickerson, though, when he runs. He runs straight up and gets the crap knocked out of him.
Like RG3 used
Yeah.
to.
Well, he's going to have a 250-pound linebacker get run just as fast as him.
That's true.
They could put the whack on
But
him.
that puts it. Running the ball, quarterbacks running the ball just put a lot of pressure on the defense. We
Yeah.
all know that.
Well.
He's going to make some plays with his feet, but he still comes in fourth in my book as far as quarterbacks. In the NFC East.
My NFC East quarterback list is Tommy DeVito, number 1. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott as number 1. Obviously, you really can't argue with Dak's record and his, especially within the NFC East. Number 2, I got to go. I don't like it, but I have to go with,
Hurt you.
yeah, Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is propped up by a lot of the talent that are on the Philadelphia Eagles. I think in a different world, had he not landed at the Philadelphia Eagles at the time in which he landed on the Philadelphia Eagles, I think he would be in the same boat as Daniel Jones. People would be talking about making a change and wanting to draft another quarterback. But I'm going to put him at number 2. Number 3, I'm going to do Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones could be the second best, but like Terry mentioned, Giants don't really have a lot of talent, and they've sucked for a long time, so that's really hurt them. And then number 4, Jaden Daniels, just because he's a rookie and unproven, and we don't know yet whether he can make it in the NFL level. All right, next up, offensive line, Steve Shaw.
I really haven't kept up with much offensive line. I couldn't tell you all the starters on Dallas's line. We lost a couple of starters that I could tell you, Balderdash and
Balderdash.
and the guy with the robotic arm.
Tyler Smith.
Yeah, Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith.
But they should have
Yeah,
traded him 3 or 4 years ago so they could have got something for him when he first started having them injuries. But that's just me.
He was still
I don't-
beating up.
I don't like the
defensive
Yeah,
ends.
but we could have got something for him. He ain't beating up nothing for us now. He's gone. But we got Steele. Steele's pretty good. I know that name, and of course we got our right guard.
Yeah, the best right guard in the NFL.
Yeah,
That'd be
Zach
Zach
Martin. Yeah. So we got 2. I mean, we're going to be unproven. Hopefully they can protect Dak. But I think if Zeke, if we can do good, if we can have a good run offense this year, and I think we can, because anybody should be able to fire off the ball in the NFL. If they don't know that, they don't need to be playing football. But I believe Zeke's going to change the game plan a little bit for us. It's going to take some pressure off. We might can get a first down on second down running the ball. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it.
Was your top?
Yeah, I'm asking you for the
Oh, the top
order.
line, it'd be the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm pretty sure,
All right.
because they seem to get what they need when they run the ball. But I'm sorry. Went on a rant, but
What's that?
I do the Phillies.
The Phillies, and then
I mean the Philadelphia Eagles,
yeah,
Phillies, whatever.
Who's the next? Sorry, guys. There's a reason he's wearing the helmet.
Anyway, Cowboys second, and I have no idea what Washington's got. I know the Giants have a good tackle, and they picked up some veteran players that are pretty good. I mean, they've started and played a lot of snaps. So I don't know. Giants might have the best offensive line. I don't know.
Well,
I can't tell.
Well, who you got at 3?
I'm gonna say the Giants.
The Giants, number 4, Washington Commanders.
Yeah, the Redskins. Can I say Redskins? The Commanders got the 4th.
Terry Crouton.
Alrighty. Offensive lines. I'm going to have to go with the Eagles. Even though they lost
Jason Kelsey,
they still have the best 2 tackles in the NFC East. I mean, they're monsters. They've got their right guard, I can't say his name, but he's good too. I had to go with the Eagles, hands down, best line. Dallas, I would go with the second best. They have the 2 best guards in the NFC East.
Yeah.
And Tyler Smith and Zach Martin. We'll see what Tyler Guyton does. We'll see what BB does. Still's a solid player. He's got to get a little quicker, I think, but he's a good player. Number 3. Right now, I think the Commanders did more in free agency than the Giants. Okay.
Yep.
They brought in quality players, including Balderdash.
Oh, I forgot they stole Balderdash.
I like what they've done. I like what the Giants have done to try to keep from giving up 85 sacks again this year. Like I said earlier, Evan Neal needs to pick it up. He's a good player. He had a decent season last year, but wasn't great. No greatness. Hopefully the players they brought in for agency will be better. But
we'll see.
Right now I got you 4th.
You're lucky we're on camera. I'm going to have to agree with Terry Crouton here. Philadelphia Eagles, I'm interested to see how they operate without Jason Kelsey, because like our expert Steve Shaw once told me, the center is the quarterback of the offense.
He is. I played center, by the way.
So with Jason Kelsey gone, that's going to put a lot more pressure on Jalen Hurts, because now Jalen Hurts is going to have to do a lot more assignments and everything at the line of scrimmage, moving the line around, whereas Kelsey did all that for him prior, making adjustments once they got up to the line of scrimmage, depending on what the defense was showing them. So we'll see what Philly does this year in terms of offensive line play, but I'm still going to put them at number 1 just because of talent alone. Second, I'm going to go with Dallas Cowboys. The one thing I hate the most about Dallas is it does not matter how many injuries they get, what players they lose. Somehow Jerry Jones strings together an offensive line that's at least top 15 every single year. So I am very envious of I'm very envious of the Dallas Cowboys' ability to field an offensive line. Third, I'm going to go with the Commanders, because I really can't put the Giants at number 3 after they gave up 80-plus sacks last season. It doesn't matter who they brought in for free agency. They were the only team this year in the NFL that did not draft an offensive lineman. So we're going to go with the Commanders at number 3, and we're going to go with the Giants at number 4, but I am hopeful with that number 4.
Y'all draft receivers all the time, for sure.
Anyway.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, okay. All right, speaking of wide receivers, Steve Shaw.
Yes, sir.
What are your rankings for the NFC East wide receiver group?
Well, we don't
Let's
have...
try to keep it short this time.
Okay. We don't have CD right now. I'm sure they're going to sign him or something. I don't know. If they don't, then I can't put Dallas even top 3. So, because I think NFC East has a lot of good talent on receiving end.
I agree.
But I got to go with Philly just because they got them 2,000-yard receivers. But their tight ends didn't do a whole lot this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I don't remember Goddard was hurt, wasn't he?
I don't believe Dallas Goddard was hurt.
I don't remember him seeing him on TV, to tell you the truth.
How many Eagles games did you watch on TV?
Only when they played Dallas. But anyway, Eagles probably by just an edge. Just the edge.
Just an edge.
Just the edge. Then Dallas right there.
Dallas is right
I'd
there.
give Eagles a 99, Dallas a 98.
Okay.
And then I would have to go with the Washington Redskins.
Ooh, okay.
Well, McLaren's pretty good.
Yeah,
And
he
then
is.
they got a Dotson guy.
Yeah, Dotson's all right.
That's not bad. I think they might have a tight end. I don't know these names. I will know before the season's
Well,
up.
we're talking wide receivers. You keep bringing
Well,
up tight ends. We're talking wide receivers.
Well, excuse me. I just consider them a
I
receiver.
look
But
at him as receiver.
yeah,
group.
Okay,
I
so
do
we'll
the
just
whole
pick
crew
one.
because
We'll
a
do the
tight
whole
end can
crew.
change things for you. Ask Kansas City. But anyway. But then the
That's
Giants
really
last,
true.
because I don't know, but Giants one receiver. And then they got some young guys.
You know two of them.
Hyatt.
Yeah, there's three. You know Malik Neighbors. 'cause
What did
you
Hyatt do
always-
last year, though? I know you didn't have a quarterback. Y'all went through 3 different quarterbacks and stuff.
To
but-
prevent me from using an obscene word right now, we're going to move on to Terry Coutant. Steve Shaw's ranking is Philadelphia number 1, Dallas number 2, Commanders number 3, and New York at a lowly 4th once again.
I'm done.
All right. Wide receivers, receiving group.
Yeah,
I'm going to follow Steve Shaw right here on this, unbelievable.
and you can incorporate the tight end to the mix since Shaw set the precedent.
Yes.
Well, we got a better tight end than Philly.
I've got to go with the Eagles' best receiving group. I mean, shit. A.J. Johnson, what's his name? Devontae Smith. Hell,
Yeah.
he'd be a number 1 on any damn near any team in the
Yep.
NFL. I mean, I don't really know their third receiver. I just wrote notes on who I see on their team.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell.
Oh, they got Paris Campbell from the Giants.
Yeah. But yeah, Dallas Goddard. He's a good tight end. I'd say he's probably the best in the NFC East.
No. Ertz was 3 times.
Number 2, and I'm like Shaw, I think it's a close second. Cowboys going to get the deal done with Lamb. We all know that.
Yeah, 100%.
Jerry Jones. I just see no urgency in it. He's going to get it done. Cooks is awesome. Jalen Tolbert, he's a second. Yeah, this is his second year receiver. He's had an outstanding training camp so far. He's going to be a good number 30 for him. And Ferguson, their tight end. I think he's right behind Dallas as tight ends. He's a good receiving tight end.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. If you see this, I got.
Can I tell you scooting a little? No, I'm saying you scoot up a little. You're off camera.
I've got Commanders 3 and Giants 4, but on my notes I've got them. They can be swapped. Okay. I think they're close. Washington's got the standout receiver out of both teams in McLaren.
Well,
That
listen,
Dotson they've got, he's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He's going to come around and be probably a great receiver and probably could be a number 1.
Yeah, I think he's just struggling from bad quarterback play.
Yes.
well, that's another thing. They might struggle because they got a rookie quarterback.
They've also got a pretty outstanding tight end in Ertz.
But we're just ranking the positional group. You can't count the quarterback because
I just-
obviously it plays a big factor in it.
Yeah.
We're talking talent right now.
Okay.
And the Giants, Neighbor, Slayton, Robinson, Hyatt. I mean, there's a bunch of young guys that are going to be good.
Yeah.
They're speedy. They're talented. You're going to have a good receiving core. The Giants are. It's going to have to find. Yeah, I ain't going to say that. He just said that about quarterback.
They got no quarterback.
But
The
like
main
I
important
said,
thing is make a receiver look good.
I can go either way with the Giants and the Commanders,
Yeah.
3rd or 4th. Okay.
Okay. Mine's a little different. I'm going to go with, obviously, Philadelphia Eagles is number 1. No, we'll play it smart. I'm going to say Philadelphia Eagles is number 1. Like they said, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Those two alone really make it hard to compete in terms of positional groups. We'll do Dallas, number 2, just because of how good CeeDee Lamb is. Slot corners, is it Jalen? Who's your slot corner? Jalen or
Tolbert.
Tolbert. I think
Tolbert.
at slot wide receiver, I said corner. Slot wide receiver, I think, is where Dallas kind of lacks a little bit. But in terms of, CeeDee Lamb, last year he was the greatest wide receiver in the NFL. And then if you look at once again, I can't remember because I'm on camera, your number 2 guy. Brandon Cooks. He's had a great year every single year. Steve Shaw let me know about that the other day.
He's always been a number 2.
Always been a number 2.
But he's a good receiver.
Yeah. But then I'm going to go with the Giants at number 3. And I know quarterback play doesn't. We got some more light.
Oh Lord,
just Steve Shaw, the light
is on you now.
The Giants at number 3. I think it's hard to say right now because the Giants have suffered from such bad quarterback play. But talent alone, if you watch Wan'Dale Robinson with the ball after he came back from his ACL injury, Wan'Dale Robinson is hard to tackle, despite the fact that he's small. Malik Neighbors is unquestioned or hasn't proven himself at the NFL level yet, but I think if Malik Neighbors has a 1,300-yard season this year, Wan'Dale Robinson continues to produce and do what he's doing, along with Darius Slayton, our number 2 guy. I think the Giants could easily move up to the number 2 position, possibly, because I feel like the Giants wide receivers are very talented, but I cannot put them higher than 3 right now, because it's just a dream in terms of if the quarterback can produce. But at number 4, I'm going to do the Washington Commanders just because Terry McLaurin's great. He's suffered from the same thing that the Giants receivers have suffered from, just bad quarterback play. But Dotson, I think Dotson is probably he's not bad, but I think he's the 4th best number 2 guy in the NFL, or not in the NFL, in the NFC East when you put him behind Darius Slayton, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith. I think he's good, but I just think the NFC East this year has really good number 2 wide receivers. So I'm going to go Philly, Dallas, Giants, and then Washington.
So McLaurin's on your team. Is he number 1?
If McLaurin's on my team, is he number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now I would just say yes because he's got more NFL experience.
Okay. I just wanted to know that.
I have high hopes for Malik Neighbors, but
okay.
Once again, he hasn't played a...
If McLaurin's on my team, he's still number 2.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm sorry.
He had to add that.
I had to add that. I'm just questioning you.
Moving on.
All right.
We're going to go to defensive lines. Steve Shaw.
Oh,
D-line.
definitely. D-line.
Actually, for the sake of time, we'll do front 7.
Front 7.
So linebackers and D-line.
Well, I didn't write anything down, but I think Philly's going to have the best out of us.
So Philadelphia is your number 1.
Yeah, and then I would probably go with, I don't know what Washington picked up. They picked up some players. They got quite a few, but D-line.
Front 7. We're talking D-line and
Y'all got a better front 7 overall than we do because you got better linebackers than we got. We're unproven. We couldn't stop the run last year.
It ain't just that.
Well, I don't know all the X's and O's like y'all do.
We got the best D tackle in the league.
Yes,
right
and you got 2 edge rushers. That's pretty good. Dallas has got, I think, the best outside rushers in the NFC, but we don't have interior line. NFC. Yeah, I said it. NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prove me wrong. Anyway,
I think the season will prove you wrong.
I don't know. We had 2 or 3 players that played out there had over 10 sacks apiece. That's pretty good. That's 30 sacks. That's almost as many.
Well, when you're playing against a team that gave up the most sacks in the NFL
twice
last year.
Anyway, I don't think our interior is going to be good. I hope it changes. I hope we pick up some players before the preseason's over with. I'm sure we might pick up some scrubs off some other teams better than what we have.
We just did.
Well, we need more. But they're scrubs.
There's plenty more out there.
There'll be some coming up. There's some young talent out there. Somebody
just
to get rid
their
of.
Scrub off their team.
But anyway, yeah, they got a better deal than us, I'm pretty sure. But
No.
we don't have no interior, and our linebackers are. We got one. We picked up Kendricks. He's a veteran player. He's 32 years old. I mean, but are they going to rally around him? Our defensive backs are going to help us a lot. If we can stop the run and force any team to pass, we're going to be all right. But Dallas is 3rd. I got Philly, the Giants, Dallas, then Washington, because I have no idea who's on their team other than Haskins.
They had a very bad defense last year. But they got Big Dan Quinn this year.
They got Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn didn't stop the run for Dallas for 2 years, so I'm not really worried about him. I'm done.
Terry Gooch.
Follow that.
I can't follow that. There's no following that. You went with front seven instead of defensive line.
Yeah, so we're just going to incorporate
I'm making
the line.
that point because if I went with defensive line,
Yeah.
okay, I've got Giants right now. Defensive line, I've got them 4. At linebacker, I've got them 1.
Okay.
Okay. So you put them. Now, I'm trying to put them together. All 4 teams right now because I've got them separated.
Well, we were going to do it, but for the sake of time, Steve
Yeah, I
Shaw
got it.
likes to
I
give
got
us
it.
a novel.
Now the Cowboys on the D line, I had them. I've actually got them 1 ahead of Philadelphia just because of Parsons and D-Law.
Yeah.
Okay. They're the 2 best pass rushers to me right now in the league.
Okay.
I know you think different with Thibodeau, but right now they are.
Oh, no. I think Thibodeau is a young DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
They're the same age.
Now you put, but I have Cowboys number 4 on linebackers.
Okay.
Now I know they brought in Kendricks, Overshawn.
Mhm.
Overshawn's he's showing a lot of good stuff.
Coming back from the ACL.
They've got a linebacker named Clark I'm real unfamiliar with. He played with them last year, but limited time. I mean, limited snaps.
Yeah.
But he's been talked about a lot in training camp. Hopefully they're putting a good linebacker crew together. I don't know. I know they've on their front they brought in 2 veteran players, one from the Eagles and one that was on Giants and one that was on free agency. Just a free agent. He's the last remaining edge rusher left in free agents.
So, yeah.
And I don't even know what team he's from. So right now I'd have to put the Giants number 1 honestly in the front 7.
Okay.
Y'all got some good inside players with Lawrence and Anderson. Y'all got the best linebacking core, and part of that is edge rushing also.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with Eagles at number 2. Their linebackers, they've got Smith, Huff. They've got those inside players on the defensive line.
Then that guy from
run stoppers.
Jalen Carter.
Yes, Carter. And they got Davis.
Yep.
And I'm going to have to go with I'll go with Cowboys at 3 and Redskins at 4, even though I think Redskins have a better linebacking with the 2 linebackers they picked. They got Wagner.
Yeah.
And they got that guy from the Panthers, Lubu, whatever.
Yeah.
He's one of them high energy guys that's
Yeah.
all over the field. So I'm going to go with the Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders.
Okay. I'm going to have to agree with Terry again. I think the Giants edge rushers got a little undersold. So with Kayvon Thibodeau, I don't expect him to necessarily have a breakout year this year. I think Thibodeau honestly is just the younger version of DeMarcus Lawrence, right? I think he's not so much like, Micah Parsons is a phenomenal pass rusher and stuff like that, whereas DeMarcus Lawrence is more of a well-rounded edge player. DeMarcus Lawrence can set an edge. DeMarcus Lawrence can rush the passer. So I think
he can play the line of scrimmage.
And he can play the line of scrimmage. So I think Thibodeau is more in that box, whereas Brian Burns, he'll be, with the defense they're running, Brian Burns will be our D end, play in, play out. But the thing is, with Thibodeau last year, we had Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale likes to send the pressure from different areas. It's never just going to be the tackles and then the edges rushing. It'll be the edges dropping out into coverage, and then they'll send linebackers, they'll send corners, they'll send safeties. So if you look at Thibodeau under Wink Martindale, he was dropping into coverage on a lot of the pass snaps. So I think this year, with our new defensive coordinator that we got from the Tennessee Titans, you'll see Thibodeau rushing the passer more. But Thibodeau does also set the edge real good. I think Brian Burns will easily get 10 sacks this year. I think Thibodeau could possibly get 10 sacks this year. I think he's done it 2 of his years since he's joined the league. But Dexter Lawrence, now that Aaron Donald's gone, to me is clearly, I don't know, everybody likes to hype up Jones from Kansas City, but it's just because he's on Kansas City. Right? Like, he's a great player, but
he's a good player.
Yeah,
he's a strong player.
Yeah. if you look at quarterback pressures and quarterback hits, Jones doesn't come close to Dexter Lawrence. But he just doesn't get the recognition because he's on a crappy team.
You're not on TV.
Exactly. So I think the Giants front four. We got some people. We got some depth, despite what Steve Shaw would like to tell you. We got Chapman, an undrafted free agent this year, has been producing in the preseason. I think he'll be a good fit. We also got I can't remember his name. His nickname's Roach, but it's like Roquez something. But he's also a good run stopper, not really a good pass rusher. But then between Burns and Thibodeau, that's great. And then in terms of our linebacking core, Bobby Okereke had an almost all-pro season last year. Didn't make the Pro Bowl because it's despite what you want to say, it's a popularity contest.
Well, we would have had 40 people in the Pro Bowl if it was.
But Bobby Okereke was an almost all-pro linebacker this year in terms of numbers. And then we have Micah McFadden, who is just a missile. His issue is just recognizing and attacking, basically. So once he gets that recognition down and it becomes second nature to him, that dude looks like he was shot out of a cannon. So I think Micah McFadden has the potential of a big season this year. And then Deontay Johnson, we got him in the draft. He's looked really good in preseason, so we have some depth there as well. So I'm going to go with the New York Giants at number 1 for front seven. I'm going to do Philadelphia Eagles at number 2 solely because of Jalen Carter and their defensive line. I don't think their linebackers are necessarily great, but I mean, if you look at the rest of the NFC East, like, I have no idea how Dallas is going to be this year. Dallas could be great.
Oh, I didn't mention during the offseason, Dallas picked up the MVP of the USFL linebacker, Willie Harvey or Harvey Willie or who the hell knows.
1930s name.
Yes. So
he'll probably roll out with that helmet.
They've had success on their USFL players with Turpin and Aubrey and
Turpentine.
Turpentine, yes. So maybe Willie will bring some help.
Hopefully Willie does, because I got Dallas at number 3. And then the Commanders last year, their defense was so bad, I can't put them any higher than 4. Bobby Wagner is obviously a great player, but he's like 45 years old.
He's old.
He'll be a coach on the field.
He'll be a coach on the field. He'll definitely be running the defense. So I'm going to put Washington at number 4 just because of that. All right, now your favorite part to talk about. Let's talk about the secondary. Steve Shaw.
Oh, by far, Dallas got the best secondary. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. I don't even know why we're talking about it then, because everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. I think I don't know all the names of them. But anyway, we got Lewis, Bland, Bell, and Diggs, and then there's a couple of them. Wilson. He's shown some pretty good stuff. I think if somehow our defensive line can stop the run this year and our linebackers, I think Dallas defense overall would be top 5 in the league. No problem. But the defensive backs are they're top 5 right now, easy. And then I can't go with the Giants. I'd have to go with Philly. I'd go with Philly second.
I don't know.
But
I'll let you go. It's your turn.
Well, I don't know all the players like y'all, but I'm just going by what I see. I go with Philly. I have no idea who plays for Washington Redskins. I'm sorry I come unprepared, but I could Google it, but I don't want to go through all that mess. So I would go with the Giants just because they got some youth there, and they ever had a good veteran that could just help them out. That'd be all right.
We had one last year.
Where's he at?
He ain't on the team anymore.
Yeah, they should have kept him. Anyway, I'm going with the Redskins last because I don't know. I have no idea who plays for them.
You're not wrong, but you're a goober.
Whatever.
Defensive backs. I'll definitely go with Dallas on this one, number 1. Getting Diggs back. I'm excited to see him and Bland together on the field. They're both Bayhawks. You got another Bayhawk running underneath in Jordan Lewis. You got strong safeties now. As strong safety, that's Wilson. He's good. He comes up. He's strong in the run game. I like how he plays when they put him in the box. Their free safety, I can't even say his name. It's I
miss a Woozier.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not a Woozier, but it's close.
But I mean, hopefully he can sit out there and play center field like a good free safety does.
Yep.
But our corners just don't need a whole lot of help.
No.
So if we can get any pressure on the quarterback, I see a lot of good things happen there. Number 2, the Eagles. They've got that Darius Slay. He's a good corner, and they got that guy with 3 names, that Gardner Johnson.
James Bradbury.
Yeah. I'd call them the number 2 defensive back in the NFC. The Commanders, Giants, I'm like Shaw. I just don't know enough about them on the defensive backs. So that's another where I can flip-flop them on my paper. I just don't know enough about them.
Okay. So number 1, I'm going to clearly go with Dallas Cowboys. You know, the way Steve Shaw spoke about the Dallas secondary, you know, I really can't argue against it. Now, in all seriousness, you know, Trayvon Diggs, like I said, I think he'll not struggle, but I think he'll be picked on a little bit at the start of the season just because, you know, unless you're Adrian Peterson, there ain't many players that come back early from an ACL injury and you're just better or as good as you were before. I don't think Diggs will take a step back overall. I just think he's still going to take at least a month of playing before he gets, you know, feeling comfortable and confident again.
Or he gets in football shape.
Yeah. But Deron Bland, I don't know where he came from last year, but he was fantastic.
He was like a 4th-round pick.
I know. And then, you know, it's hard for me to talk about y'all's safeties because your corners are so good. So it's just like, I feel like you could just about stick anybody back there at safety for the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm definitely going with Dallas at number 1. Where we differ is I'm going to say the New York Giants at number 2. Despite how bad we were last year, and I don't know if it's because it was just so easy to run the ball against us, but the Giants secondary was not bad last year on paper, right? In terms of like passing yards against us and everything like that, it could have been because Dexter Lawrence and, you know, Kayvon Thibodeau could get, you know, pressure.
Well, y'all's front 7 takes a lot of pressure off y'all's secondary.
Yeah. So, like I said, the Giants, despite the fact that we had a young secondary, on paper, we did not do bad. So I'm going to go with the Giants at number 2. And another reason I'm going to go Giants at number 2 over the Eagles is Darius Slay is getting old. James Bradbury has been also taking a step back. And I don't necessarily think it's because of his ability. I think it's just how the Eagles use him. When he was with the Giants gave him a lot of zone coverage, which is where he really shines. He's never really been a good man-to-man corner, which is how the Eagles played him. So I just think unless they got a new defensive coordinator, I think James Bradbury will struggle again. And then Gardner Johnson, all he does is run his mouth on Twitter. So I'm going to put them at number 3. And then I'm putting the Washington at number 4 just because all I'm really going off of with Dan Quinn being the head coach right now is their corners are getting cooked in preseason, and I'm talking their starting corners. So I just think they're definitely going to struggle this year, and they don't have the pass rush to help them out. And
well, they got a good pass rusher.
Yeah.
And Dorn Armstrong.
Yeah.
That's the biggest mistake I think Cowboys made. Let walk away this year. He was cheap.
Are you questioning?
Yes.
Jerry Jones?
Jerry and Steven. Anyway, I'll get off that.
Yeah, all right, so.
He probably spells his name with a PH, don't he?
More than likely.
We're going to call it a wrap on the PH. I think we covered all the position groups, right? We got, running back. We forgot about running back. So we'll do running back because we did the front 7, we did safeties, or we did the secondary. We did offensive line.
We did not do running back.
We did not do running
and
back.
we ain't done special teams if y'all want that.
Yeah. Because I had no idea with these new kickoff rules how special teams are going to go. Obviously, Turpin's probably the best returner right now.
And Auburn's the best kicker.
I don't know about that. Graham Gano.
Gano's a good kicker. I ain't gonna take that away.
Well, Auburn had a great season, so we can't rule that out.
Yeah, but Dallas Cowboys kickers always go to shit.
Elliott is pretty clutch.
Yeah, Jake Elliott. I hate him because
he wears green, though.
Yeah, he's a Philadelphia Eagle.
But I think right now, coming off based on last season, I'd go with Aubrey, no doubt, hands down, number one.
Oh, Graham Gano got hurt. Graham Gano got hurt.
Everybody on your team got hurt.
Yeah, it ain't my fault.
So running backs.
Running backs.
You go first, Terry.
Running backs go.
Yeah, I learned something.
Running backs. Number one, and as much as I hate to say it,
I know what I was going to say.
I'm going with the Eagles, number one. Okay. I think Saquon Barkley is just going to have a fucking awesome season. I just see it.
Don't say it, Terry.
I just see it. And then they got that damn Grano, whatever his name is. Gainwell. He's a good change of pace guy. Number two, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Elliott does what he does. Okay. Hopefully he can get more than 2 or 3 yards on the carry, and they'll let him play and get in some kind of rhythm where he can pick up good yardage.
Yeah.
I don't really see that happening. I think they're going to do him like they did with Pollard. He's going to play the first quarter maybe, then go sit on the bench, come in on short yardage.
On top of that, I don't think teams are going to stack the box against Dallas.
Yeah. Now, is their number two back or
not at first?
I've got all of them. Every team in the league basically go running back committee, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, as far as Cowboys number two, I think Rico Suave is going to have a great season. He is a playmaker, so I look forward to seeing him. I've got to go with the Commanders at number three because fucking Eckler's good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say
You're good.
that. Eckler's a good running back. He's
Yeah.
solid. I mean, and then Robinson, he's a fast, quick little dude.
Yeah.
I just think I think they're a solid running game. Giants, like I told you earlier, I don't know a lot about Singletary and Gray. I don't know anything about him.
The OU boy.
Huh?
OU.
Gray was?
Yep.
Is that Jonathan Gray?
No, Eric Gray.
No, Jonathan Gray fell off the map.
I feel like you're getting farther that way.
I did when I leaned back.
Yeah, Jonathan Gray was a Texas boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know a whole lot about them, so maybe they'll surprise me, but right now they're 4.
Okay. Steve Shaw, crash test dummy.
Crash test dummy says,
Crash test dummy.
I don't know, Saquon stays healthy. Yeah, Philly's going to be top because their quarterback also can run.
Yeah.
And like I say, that Gainwell, whatever his name. Gainwell.
Every time it's different.
Swift hurts him. You know, he had some help Philly a lot.
Yeah.
Some reason why he seemed like he was open against Dallas all the time for little dump off passes. But anyway, so I'm going with Philly. Second, I'm going to go with the Giants. Because they're going to run the ball a lot more because they have to. And they have to.
Who are their backs?
Singletary's put up 1,000 yards just about every year he's played. I don't know why he ain't stayed on the team.
He averages 4 yards a carry.
He averaged 4.3 or 4.6 yards a carry, and nobody's kept this guy, and he ain't been hurt. The only thing about Washington, Eckler's been hurt.
And he's getting old.
So I'm going to put them last.
He's a solid back.
Well, he is a solid back, but he's been hurt. I know all backs get hurt. I mean, look at Saquon.
Yeah.
You know, he probably would have had great seasons if he never got hurt.
Yeah.
But I'll go with Philly first. I love Zeke Elliott, but I don't know what Dallas is going to do. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think their running game's going to be a bigger dose of Rico.
Dimwiddle's pretty good. Dwaddle, whatever.
Rico Daddle.
Yeah. Dawdle.
Dimwiddle is a maverick.
Well, anyway. He's not proven yet to me. I know he got some carries last year, but Dallas seemed to be chunking the ball a whole lot last year at the end of the games because they were so far behind. But anyway.
Dallas is so far behind?
Yeah, they on good teams.
I mean, hell, they're
How many yards they have rushing
30
against?
points.
How many yards they have against a
400
good
yards.
team? How many yards they have against 49ers rushing the ball? 2. You know,
Two
I
in the
don't
whole
know.
game?
Yeah, I don't know. 2. They're so
I
far
think
behind.
Dak probably fell forward one time. And got
Well, he's probably the best runner in that game. But I'm gonna go with Philly first. I'm gonna go with Giants second, and Dallas third on that, and then Washington's going to be my last. I don't even know who their running backs are.
Surprisingly, I'm going to agree with Steve Shaw here. I think the reason I say the Giants second, right? Philly obviously first. Between Philly's offensive line, the fact that you have to leave a linebacker to spy for Jalen Hurts, all those reasons, and then having Saquon, and obviously we're speaking if everybody stays healthy, right? Because Saquon does suffer from injuries, but I'm going to go with Philly first, and the only reason I'm going the Giants second, because I think Dak will have a successful season just because the Cowboys are going to be a great team. The reason I'm going the Giants second is a lot with, like Shaw said, the game plan for teams against the Giants is to just pressure Daniel Jones and try to get him to make mistakes. So they're not really even thinking about the run. They want Daniel Jones to make a mistake. So they do a lot of blitzing. They do a lot of different things to just put the pressure on Daniel Jones and get him to do something wrong. So that's a big reason why I think the Giants this year with Singletary, we're switching to running back by committee. Tyrone Tracy Jr., our 5th-round draft pick, got injured, but he's not going to be out long term. It's just a high ankle sprain. But then with Eric Gray as well, I think overall, I don't think Singletary will have more yards than Elliott this year. I don't think any of the Giants running backs will have more yards than Elliott. I think just by the end of the season, the Giants will have more rushing yards than Dallas, which is the reason I'm saying. Because I think, as much as I don't like to agree with him, I think Shaw's right. I think we're going to have to run the ball, whereas Dallas will just be able to mix it up to make sure they're moving the chains. So I think the Giants will finish with more rushing yards than the Cowboys, but I think Zeke will still average 4 yards a carry this year. So I'm going to say Giants number 2, and I think Cowboys number 3, but obviously that could easily switch, and then we're going to go with Washington at number 4.
How come we're down on Washington, aren't we? Poor Washington.
I mean, rookie
They might win the
quarterback,
whole
rookie
division.
coach.
Yeah.
But he ain't a rookie
He's not a
coach.
rookie coach,
Yeah.
but first-year coach.
The last game he had as a head coach, he blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, it's going to be like a halo over his head all the time. Commander, my ass. But anyway, can I ask a question?
go ahead.
I don't know how much we got. No, go ahead.
That was going to be it for me, unless we really.
I
wanna
got
talk
one
about the
question.
teams.
A team that made the playoffs last year, out of all of them that made the playoffs, if you can remember, look like they're a team that's building themselves up, going to be tough in their division, maybe go on a playoff run for the next few years. Of all them teams that did that, is there any of them that you think was just like a Cinderella season for them and they're not going to make it this
That
year?
went to the playoffs?
Yeah.
I would say out of all the teams that made the playoffs last year, and it may not be a fluke, but
Yeah.
I think Green Bay, I don't think they were as good as what
Still
people
some
were
bad
giving credit
blood.
to.
Okay.
Still some bad blood.
Well,
It's not good, maybe.
Well,
Maybe, but I just don't think they were that good.
as much as
I think
I,
George Love was just having a damn
as much
out
as
of the world season.
Oh,
and-
Green Bay.
Tommy DeVito beat him.
Huh?
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito beat him.
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
Danny's son beat them, but
Danny's son.
mine is going to be in the same division. I think Detroit had one of them fairy tale seasons.
Shit.
I mean,
Not with their coach.
yeah, he's one of them hyped up. He's like Quinn. He's like, I get them all fired up. He's another.
Quinn had him real hyped up in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but anyway,
And in that playoff game,
well, Quinn just let somebody not run the football at the right time. But anyway, I'm going to say Detroit Lions.
I'm going to say Green Bay.
I think Detroit, if they might limp into the playoffs, but they're going to be limping.
If we're sticking with Green Bay and Detroit, I'm going to say Green Bay is more likely to have had a Cinderella story last year. Because if you look at, since Dan Campbell has taken over the Detroit Lions, they've
Well,
got
Wardlow will be throwing
They keep
stuff
getting
at
better.
you.
they keep getting better.
Anyway, and
that's a good point though on coaches. I had some coaching notes in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do NFC head coaching, and then we'll call it there.
Well, there's some interesting. Okay, on offensive coordinators, we've got Cliff Kingsbury in our division now. Huh?
Wait, Cliff, is he with Washington?
He's with the Commanders. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I didn't hear anything about it.
And we got Kellen Moore back in our division.
Yeah, he's with the Eagles.
Offensive coordinator.
I'm glad he's in our division.
Exactly. And y'all's offensive coordinator, I really like him. I think he's good. He knows how to adjust during the game. He can make in-game decisions and adjustments.
In 2022, the Giants were always, like every single game, we were coming back from a deficit.
Yeah.
And they made adjustments, and then we moved.
Yeah.
The second half, we got better.
Right. I think I like the guy. Schottenheimer, I don't even know who's really calling the shots there on the offense.
You don't know if Marty's calling the
I
shots?
think Fat Boy's actually calling the offense, okay?
Is that the hamburger?
Yeah, he's got his Denny's menu.
Defense coordinators, that Eagles defense coordinator, that Fangio.
Vic Fangio. He came from the.
I'm not responsible for what's said on this program.
He is good defense coordinator. I mean, he knows how to bring it.
Yeah.
So who's got the best coaching staff?
Let's see. Let me go on. We got the Cowboys brought another coach back into the NFC East, Zimmer, which I think.
He's good.
I think he is a damn good defense coordinator. I like him a lot better than Quinn at defense
coordinator.
Got
2 head coaches on the same team.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but he's not a good head coach. He's like Wayne Phillips.
The Giants defense coordinator Bowen, he's proven.
Shane Bowen.
Yeah, he does a good job for him. Now Witt Jr. with the Commanders.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
I have no idea. I've never heard his name before. Fangio,
I think he coached with Quinn at Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think he was maybe a line coach or linebackers coach or something like that when he was at Atlanta, but I don't know enough about him to say what he is or ain't. But so overall, we got McCarthy, we got Schottenheimer, and we got Zimmer. Eagles that's their biggest weakness is their head coach, in my opinion, Sirianni. I like Dayball. He gets into he's emotional. He gets into the game. I like him when I see him over there getting all crazy acting. I like that. Quinn, hell, he's liable to be sitting up in the booth during games. I don't know, like he did at Dallas.
Yeah.
He never comes stand on the sideline.
He don't want to be with the riffraff.
But anyway, based on Sirianni, I go with Dallas as the best coaching staff. I like their coaching staff. I like their experience.
You gonna say that with their playoff history?
Yes, because McCarthy has won a Super Bowl. It ain't been with Dallas.
McCarthy won a Super Bowl a long time ago with the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
and it was only one.
He has won a Super Bowl. And Zimmer, I think he's maybe not won, but he's been in the Super Bowl.
He got to the NFC Championship with the Vikings. With Case Keenum as a quarterback.
How far did he go with the Cowboys? Didn't they?
I don't know if he was on the staff in the 90s.
No, he wasn't with them, because they had Gum Wanstead.
No, Dave Wanstead.
Yeah.
Campo.
Yeah, and all that.
Fonique and all
anyway, still, I'd go with Cowboys, Giants, Philadelphia, then Washington.
Steve Shaw.
I got to go with the Cowboys because I think Zimmer's going to be twice
It's
the defensive
coaches on the same team.
Yeah, but we had it last year.
Yeah, we did.
You know, is Quinn not a head coach?
I just never was. Really
he's a head coach for at least the second time.
Yeah.
But I don't think defensive. I'm probably stupid, but some reason why I don't think defensive
I wouldn't say
coaches,
probably. You're giving yourself too much credit.
But defensive coaches, to me, don't make great, to me, head coaches sometimes.
Not in today's NFL.
Yeah. I mean, you need some offensive-minded people. They got so much shit going on nowadays.
If you look at the best teams, they have an offensive-minded head coach.
Yes, and
I think it was a pretty good damn defensive coordinator head coach.
But like I said, in today's
Dick was an offensive player, though.
Yeah, he was.
But McCarthy and his Denny's menu, I think he's all right, but I think Zimmer's not going to get them behind in the game so bad. If they play bad offensively, I think Zimmer's defense is going to keep them in the game. Dallas's offense played bad against San Francisco. Their defense played bad against San Francisco. So I just think the defense is going to be tough.
But the one thing about Zimmer's defense is you just got to get it out of your head. They're going to give up. Zimmer defenses give up a lot of yards.
Bend, don't break.
Well, that's fine. They don't get no points.
They're 30 to 30 yard line.
Yeah,
okay?
that's better than giving up 40-something points
I
in
agree.
one half.
I agree.
Against a team I don't think is that much better than you.
Yeah.
But it's just you don't bring it. Zimmer's. Anyway, I'm going to go with Dallas just because I'm a little biased on that.
Number 2.
I don't really think much of Dabo. He lost weight, though. He looks better. I need to talk to him, see if I can lose a little weight. But
All right, so you don't like
he's bald.
All right, well, who's number 2? That's all I'm asking.
I got to go with Philly. I mean, Philly's been a winning team the last few years. I don't like Sirianni or whatever his name is.
Sirianni.
Yeah, but Philly brings it every year.
So you think Kellen Moore is going to be the offensive coordinator to beat?
I think Kellen Moore is going to just show plays to the run.
You think they got a sucky head coach, and you think they got a sucky offensive coordinator?
Because I don't like Philly. I don't like Philly. I hate Philly. Yeah, I'm just being. I don't like Philadelphia at all.
Well, I don't either. I think that's the one thing this whole group right here.
I do not like Philly at all, but I think they win ball games, so they got something going.
I hope Kellen Moore throws a battery at you.
He will learn how to do that in Philly, I guarantee you, and say bad words. But I don't like Dan Quinn at all. I think Dan Quinn was the worst thing happened to the Cowboys.
All right, well, so Philly is number 2.
Yeah.
Who's your number 3 then?
The Giants.
The Giants, all right.
Yeah, I do like Terry said about Dable. He does get on the players. He don't sit over like the hamburger does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, he does get onto a player's ass. I believe the coach should get on. I don't care how old a man is.
And he'll get on the referee's ass.
Yeah. McCarthy don't say nothing. He won't even throw a red flag out there challenge shit.
He just sits there and looks.
But anyway, I'm going with
what you said, didn't he, menu?
Yeah, I'll go with Giants 3rd, just because I don't like Dan Quinn.
Real quick, I just want to point out, he said everything he said about the Philadelphia coaching staff was negative, but he still put them at number 2. And he was like, I do like Dable because he'll get on the players. But number 3.
But Philly wins ball games. If you win, something's right.
But
something's right.
Nick
That's
Sirianni.
because they've got good people in the office that bring in good
So
players.
that's what I'm going to segue into. Okay, so in terms
They played for a Super Bowl.
In terms of coaching staffs,
It should have won the Super Bowl.
In terms of coaching staffs,
They got cheated in the Super Bowl. You know it.
In terms of coaching staffs, I'm actually going to put just coaching staffs alone. Just right now, I'm going to put the Giants, because there is merit to what Steve Shaw said. You got to win ball games. Where are you going?
You putting the Giants first. I'm going over here.
No, I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys at number 1, just because you do have to win ball games. But that could be subject to change this year, depending on if we brought in enough talent and the offensive line can block. I'm going to put the New York Giants at number 2, just because if you look at what Brian Dable did with the roster he had in 2022, right?
Yeah.
I can't even remember our offensive coordinator's name, but a big part of the struggles we had.
Offensive coordinator.
It starts with an S, his last name, I believe.
Kafka.
Yeah, Mike Kafka, actually. Mike Kafka, he was the quarterback's coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kafka, I think, was calling plays in 2022, but Dable took the play calling responsibilities from him about midway through the season in 2023, and the Giants started winning games. So Kafka's obviously helping out with the offense, but Brian Dable's calling plays again. But I think in terms of head coaches, I think Brian Dable is the best head coach in the NFC East, but it's not just one guy that can lead a team. You need multiple other defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, linebackers coach, all that stuff. So if you look at just what Dallas is able to do with Deron Bland, if you look at what Dallas is able to do with some of their new players, right, that are high draft picks, right?
I think Dallas has maybe one of the best assistant coaches in the NFL.
Forget just how you guys are able to develop players every single year.
Harris, that Seattle Bob.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Their defensive back coach.
Yeah. So just the way Dallas is able to take like a 4th round draft pick like Deron Bland and then, build them and turn them into something good. I'm going to put Dallas at number 1. But in terms of head coaches, and the Giants also have a very good defensive back coach as well. But I don't know about Shane Bowen yet. Like I said, Mike Kafka, he is good, but play calling wise, he's a lot like Kellen Moore. So I'm going to put the Giants at number 2, and it's mainly carried by Dable. And the 2022 season, and last year, like I said, sucked. But actually, I'm going to put the Giants at 3 for one reason I'll get back to. I'm going to put the Eagles at number 2 just because of their ability to win games. I think Sirianni fell into his position. Now, listen, I think Sirianni fell into his position. I think the real person that makes Philly as good as they are is their GM, Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
I think Howie Roseman is the best GM in the NFL today.
He's better than Jerry Jones?
Yeah. Yes, he's better than Jerry Jones. He doesn't get off broke neck linebacker in the first round. Anyway, I think Sirianni fell into his position. I think Kellen Moore will be a good fit for Jalen Hurts. I don't think he'll be great, but I think he'll be a good fit. Vic Fangio was a head coach for the Broncos. He wasn't a great head coach, but he's got head coaching experience. He also did really good with the Bears when he was their defensive coordinator.
Oh, defensive guy. Head coach failed again. Okay, go ahead.
He's not the head coach.
I know, thank God.
He's back to DC.
Yeah.
But anyway, because of Vic Fangio being on the Eagles, I'm going to put the Eagles at number 2. And then the reason I'm moving the Giants down, because something that annoys the ever-living shit out of me with Brian Dable, is he plays musical chairs with the offensive line. All last season and part of this preseason, for whatever reason, he's moving people into positions, offensive linemen into positions they've never played before, despite the fact that they played this position their whole career.
Is he actually, is he the one moving them?
Yeah.
The offensive line coach ain't the one saying, hey, Dick, we need to...
So we had Bobby Johnson in 2022 and 2023. Both of those years they played musical chairs with the offensive linemen where they're moving people around, playing position, cross-training them to get them to play different positions. And, he's a new head coach. I was like, at the time, this is good. In case there's an injury, they have experience, they can get moved around. Last year proved it is not a good idea. This year, at the start of the season, they started doing it again, and now they have Carmen Brasillo from the Raiders, right? So it ain't the offensive line coach doing it because we have a new offensive line coach. We get John Runyon Jr., who's played left guard his whole NFL career. Started the preseason and training camp. He's playing right guard now. Greg Van Roten, who's played right guard, was playing center. Jermaine Elamanior, who was playing right tackle, was playing left guard. So that's the one thing with Dable that annoys the ever-living crap out of me. So I'm going to put them at number 3, and then I'm going to do Washington at number 4 because... Dan Quinn and the Falcons that one year were great, but how do you blow a 28-3 lead? I don't care if it's Tom Brady. It's almost statistically impossible to lose that game. So because of that, I'm putting Dan Quinn at number 4 and the rest of the Washington Commanders. Cliff Kingsbury, I think, will be good for Jaden Daniels because Cliff Kingsbury had Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he did decent with
Murray.
With Murray,
But yeah. I'm going to put the Giants at 3 just because of the offensive line stuff. All right.
That's it. We're all in agreement. Washington sucks.
Well, we're going to end it at Washington sucks, everybody.
Washington sucks.
We hate the Eagles. Go Giants.
Hey, America's team, baby.
America's team. But anybody seeing this, thanks for watching. We're going to be doing more of these. We're going to get a YouTube channel set up. We'll get the links out there to people. But thank you again. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and we will get to them next time. Thanks again, everybody. There you go. See you, Sean.